kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump, fully deep into the pool, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Yeah, man.
Let's make deposits into the bank of knowledge. Welcome back to the Trebles Show, formerly known as Paranoi Radio. I am your humble host, Trebles Garcia. And I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you the new show. I'm here to uplift. I'm tired of talking about the rotten, how every single person and the elites are rotten and how the society is decaying. I want to talk about what makes humankind great again. No pun intended. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to listen to any political banter or any other stuff that I have to offer, that's going to be exclusively lives on Instagram with Flash or Flash_News1, my political analyst. And also I want to remind you guys that the ParanoiRadio.com is no longer available. Now the link tree is on the description of the show. And you could also find a donate button. You don't have to buy anything. I'm not asking you to, but if you buy me a coffee, I'm going to enjoy it. That's all I'm saying. Mad love and respect to every single one of you. And guys, do not forget to check us out on all podcast platforms, absolutely free. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Pandora, iHeartRadio, the YouTube. And guys, if you have been here before, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. And one more time, like, share, and subscribe. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. And then let's jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the freaking mood. I have an amazing episode lined up with an amazing special guest. It should have been two, but today we got one of the good halves because they're both amazing halves. There are two positive souls that have created their show. They're on YouTube. They talk about the positivity in life all the way from the other side of the pond, which is the other pond. They're a day ahead. Put it to you like this. They're in New Zealand. They're impactful. They're women. They're thriving. As a matter of fact, my next special guest is also a martial artist. Oh my God. How do you put that all together in one giant bundle? Lisa from the Encrypted Women's Society podcast. Hey.
Hey, how you going? Welcome to from New Zealand to America. Oh my God, it was a long trip.
It was a long trip. New Zealand, how is the weather? Talk to me. How's the weather?
We're
How's
in
the
summer.
show?
Yeah, we're kicking into summertime now. So we've just been hammered by crazy town winds from the Tararua Ranges that I've got. I've got a massive mountain range up the side of my house, which is pretty epic. There's Bigfoot up there, by the way.
I was about to tell you.
Yeah,
great prime real estate for
I
cryptids.
was like, where should we buy a house? How about just here?
Cryptid land. I love it.
Yeah, totally. So that's really, really cool. And we are just about to hit into summertime, which is amazing because we're opposites, right? So you guys are going into poor winter, freezy.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm in LA today, and always in October we have 1 week that sets us back into the 90s Fahrenheit, by the way. So I'm not sure what you guys measure stuff out there, but this week is actually pretty hot. But yeah, fall has been nice. I love the weather right now, and I can't complain. You know, we're blessed. Children are good. Shows are good. The listeners are good. Guys, do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and make sure you like and share, subscribe. Lisa, you have an amazing podcast, dude. You and your partner are kicking ass. Let them know where they can find you, please.
Yeah, you can find Juliet and myself at Walking in the Shadows over at Cryptid Women's Society on YouTube. We're predominantly on YouTube or on Instagram, and you can always jump over to the website, cryptidwomensociety.com. We have some amazing membership opportunities over there. We run an entire members portal in the back end there.
Oh,
with
yeah.
a whole of cool rooms like a library, and we've got Shadow Talk where we do interviews, and we also have the dungeon. Because, you know, every good portal needs a dungeon. So
Yeah. You got to send them to the dungeon from time to time. I call them the gallows.
You know, yeah, look, Joe from the Ancient Enigma Files is in the dungeon quite often because he's a troublemaker. So, you know.
Mad love and respect to Joe from the Enigma. Dude, I call him Enigma. Yo, this dude is an angel, bro. Like, you know what, man? I'm going to be honest with you. There's some, I just had an episode with Doc Brown, and you guys probably listened to that episode about a month ago by the time this is coming out. But I'm going to tell you something. Some of the most humble people are that I've never thought that would be humble. You see him at first glance, and you're like, oh, this guy's made, he's a dick, or you get a first impression of how they look or speak, and automatically you're like, oh, you start judging or critiquing, or start to compare yourself to people that you just never had given them a chance. But from the moment I opened conversation with Joe, man, you should have seen the first conversation with him. It was a mess. Like my baby was interrupting. We had to stop. We recorded. We kept going. It was carding 3 points. Like it was an ugly conversation. But I don't know what it is about him. He's so humble. Well, with me at least, he's been one of the most humble content creators, right? And something about him, man. So mad shout, mad love, and respect.
I rate him so incredibly highly. He was, in fact, probably the first person that really got us into podcasting, because we'd already created the business, and he was like, we've got to get you online, girls. You've got to be online. And we were his second episode out of his podcast altogether. And I remember Juliet was so unorganized. She had bloody T-Rex headphones on, and I was sitting in my lounge, and it was so bad. But yeah,
it's always those first ones, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's who connected both of us together, right?
Absolutely.
He's like our middleman.
He is. He's an amazing networker, and I stand by him, and whatever he needs, I'm his dad. He's one of the hardest working dudes that I know out there. So mad love and respect to the ancient Enigma files description on the show. You know what to do, guys. Okay. All right. So why is this so important? Why is it so great? Because we're uplifting each other. We're talking positivity, and we're making sure we inject, at least on my side over here at Paranoi. I'm not paranoid. At the Trebles Show, I try to inject a little Jesus in everything I do, with a little spirituality. It's not too toxic, and it's not too crazy. And I encourage you guys, do not take my word for it. I suggest you take 5 seconds every day, stop watching ass on TikTok, and do the research yourself. Hashtag look it up. Now, Lisa, tell me, I have 2-3 questions for you, and I'm going to throw them at you. We're going to randomize this real quick. And then I have one last question on the way out of the show. But before that, dude, okay, so they can find you on all your amazing things, descriptions on the show. Lisa, how did you guys get into podcasting? What is it? What is your business? And then let's get into the nitty-gritty. Give me some action. Historical, cryptid, energetic, power pulsating algorithm of New Zealand. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, Cryptid Women's Society started out of lockdown, right? I sat in a car park, literally lost 2 businesses. I'm a personal trainer by trade, literally shut the borders down. And I sat there in my car watching text messages come through saying, cancel, 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 cancel. Juliet went through pretty much the same thing over in Australia. She's in Melbourne. She lost her job at a engineering firm, quite a huge engineering firm, in fact, as they all started shutting their doors. And she went through the biggest lockdown, probably globally. I think she was in lockdown for about 260 days, which is pretty insane. And so during that time, we basically just sat there and said, all right, tell us what to do. Universe, Lord, whatever you want to refer to him as, tell us what to do. Where to next? And as we sat there and started having these conversations, women started popping up, talking to us about their encounters, because they knew that we'd had paranormal encounters in the past. We'd seen UFOs. I've seen UFOs my whole life. I used to be able to levitate when I was little. It was pretty crazy cool. I'm like, cool,
see, that's the stuff I'm telling you about, that New Zealand. I'm telling you, man. Right. Oh, goodness.
There's good stuff going on, right? And so we kind of, as this kind of went on, we started formulating this idea of creating this amazing space for women that could basically accommodate their stories, but also allow them to share traumatic events that they've had through the supernatural, right? Not every time you see a UFO or you have a cryptid encounter is a happy one, right? There's a lot of people out there that have really traumatic events wrapped around those stories.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yeah. You know, anything demonic is pretty bloody scary. And so we wanted to create a community where women could have that opportunity to share, to have that opportunity to learn from other women that were really experienced in the community, not have to, like exactly what you say, sift through bloody, days and days worth of Facebook posts to try and find the right information, because all it is adverts now, and it's horrendous. and bring everyone together, or bring the amazing women that we were connecting with together, give them a voice, give them a platform, and give them a safe place to work in. And it's grown into this amazing community of women that are like the top of their game, right? We have women that are on television shows that you will know. We
Hell
have
yeah.
top cryptozoologists, top ufologists, top paranormal investigators, women that are doctors that hold high level degrees, that are historians, that are professors. It's absolutely crazy. We've got ladies from NASA that have joined us.
Woo!
Absolutely
Shut the
mental.
front door, dude. Oh
Yeah,
my
right. So
goodness.
we're sitting here going, oh, we're just going to get maybe like, Barb down the road that is kind of, into the paranormal a little bit, or, and all of a sudden we've been flooded with all of these experts that are just like, we want in, right? We want to be a part of it. And so along with that comes things like coaching, comes things like courses, comes things like academic journals, comes things like amazing interviews with women and men through our Shadow Talk Unfiltered space. So it's a very, very cool place to be in. I love the industry that we get to work in and that we get to be part of. It's such a beautiful space. There's always the good and the bad with everything. But like we were talking about pre-show, right? If you align yourself with the right energy, everything is cake. And God knows I love cake.
Oh man, I love cake, and I love cake, the one edible kind. And well, technically, I'm not even gonna go there. All right, dirty
We
joke.
can't
I
go
shouldn't have
there.
said that.
We're not allowed that, okay? All we're allowed is delicious chocolate cake, or maybe a sponge if you're lucky.
Yo, well, just to add the cherry on that amazing cake that you that you just gave me. I told one of my good friends today, and I'm like, we're no longer conspiracy theorists out here. I told him the evolution is here. No more consumer consciousness. No more consuming life instead of creating life, because awareness equals creations. So basically what I'm telling them is, you have to put all the knowledge you put together, all the dots, all the secret society stuff, all the demonic stuff, all the spiritual attacks, all the data, the symbols, and everything that you found out through the conspiracy theories, and not consume it. Now create a better world and space for others, like what you and Juliet have been doing for all women and every single podcaster and content creator and subscriber and listener and downloader and all these other people that have engaged with you. Amazing platform, by the way.
Thank you. Super exciting. Like, just love it. Love, love, love.
How energetic and how cryptic is New Zealand, and how the hell did you levitate? That's not going anywhere. That's going to be... Woo!
And how does this work?
Show me.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay.
Tell me the truth. Well, New Zealand is very spiritual, right? It's a sanctuary. So if you go way back to, like, if you believe the timelines and the history, you go back to Gondwana land when everything was together and it started breaking off and shifting and all that sort of stuff. New Zealand, in fact, moved itself so far away that it missed the ice age that was supposedly, allegedly 13,000 years ago or 12,800 years ago, depending on your timeline. And so our trees, our flora, our fauna, we don't have any mammals here or indigenous mammals. All we have are birds and reptiles, right? No crocodiles, no alligators, but we do have little lizards, or we had larger lizards, and we have tuatara, which are our only still existing dinosaurs. They're like little mini, probably about that long, lizards that have spikes all over them that literally look like mini dinosaurs, right? And they are millions of years old. They've been around forever. And so New Zealand missed this ice age, which means it was an absolute sanctuary to everything. So all of the trees, the flora and the fauna are, thousands, if not millions of years old. They're huge, they're old, they're well known for this sort of stuff. It's scientifically recorded. The totra, the rimu, The Cody trees are so huge and so old that they've just created this amazing ecosystem in New Zealand that holds a bucket load of energy, right? And
Whoa, keyword energy.
energy, yeah. We had a conversation with one of our members. She's actually our web designer slash business mentor slash shamanic practicer slash everything. And she's a Māori woman called Alison, and she's amazing. She lives over in Australia now. And she was telling us about her shamanic practices, and the way that she learned was through the Māori indigenous ways, culture, because that's obviously her culture and her iwi and her tribes. But she learned through essentially speaking to the trees and speaking to the plants. And she was telling us about how New Zealand is the sanctuary and how the trees hold this memory through their energy. It was just wild, man. And my whole life of growing up in New Zealand, I knew there was something really special because we go into the bushland, right? You go up into the New Zealand native bush and far out, man, you feel so good, like overly good, right? You go and like swim in one of the rivers and you feel so good. And that is why there's this massive pull to have people come over, right? Every single person I've ever spoken to has gone, oh my God, New Zealand's on my bucket list. Oh my God, I have to go because it's so beautiful. And I truly, honestly believe the more research that I've done has backed this theory up, that the reason why it's so beautiful in New Zealand, or the perception that it's so beautiful, is because it houses so much energy. It's historical energy. It's energetic energy from lava and volcanoes and earthquakes. And I believe it's got just a bucket load of spiritual energy in it as well.
That's trifecta of energy.
Yeah.
You mixed a lot of different emotions because it makes people happy, and then the elements that are in sync with the organic pulsating algorithm of the earth.
Yeah.
I
It's got a
have
breath to it.
Yeah, I have I'm not gonna jump too into it, but I had a deep dive on on how the Olmecs were not worshiping deities and gods; they were worshiping the earth because they were trying to dive deep and use mercury, liquid crystal glass technology to tap into the earth's organic algorithm, pulsating algorithm, and leave their memory in the energy, their consciousness in the ether of the Yucatan Peninsula. The same way you are talking about how these trees have the energetic memory. We're not talking about carbon dating memory that you can, no. We're talking about something that you can feel, hold, a space that you can tap into the energy, a frequency, something that tells you and allows you to tap into your own frequency inside your DNA, which is why our elites, not trying to be dark here, are obsessed. We're hacking your DNA and transmuting you, transmaking you and adapting you into what we call now technology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
You know, all that good stuff. Wow.
Oh, totally agree. Yeah, absolutely. And also New Zealand's got a bucket load of portals in it, right? Vortices, if you will. Ivan Sanderson put it down pretty nicely with the 12 vortices. And there's one in Taupo, which is in the middle of the North Island, which is the top island. It's super volcanic, and Lake Taupo was created when Mount Tarawera exploded, right? And Lake Taupo came up. My dad was part of the Department of Conservation back in the good old days, a while ago. And I remember him saying to me, "Oh, Lise, don't tell anyone." Ha! I'm about to tell everyone. He said to me, "Lise, don't tell everyone, but this one time I drove down the desert road and I saw this massive, what do you call it? Massive vein of black obsidian, right?
Look at you.
Running through the hills." And he goes, "And so I stopped the car and I got my spade and he freaking dug out huge chunks of this black obsidian, which was the lava that came from Mount Tarawera exploding and creating Lake Taupo, which is now a vortex.
Historical, dude. Your dad's a badass. Your dad's a badass for that.
I know.
Do you still have the obsidian? Is this why you levitate?
Oh, well, actually, I didn't really think about that, but maybe.
You never know, man.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Look, we were doing, my dad's a martial artist as well, and he's done martial arts since he was 14. He was one of the first to bring Chinese Budokan to New Zealand. My mum also, third dan black belt, been training since she was, knee height to a grasshopper. She's like 5 foot nothing and 71 now, but still somewhat lethal. Just got to walk carefully.
That is actually one of the most lethal sizes for women. It's fun size, pocket size, and it's a thriller size, I'm telling you.
Yeah, dangerous. Danger. So yeah, I literally just kind of grew up with Chuck Norris, breaking bricks and that sort of stuff.
I think Chuck Norris is an American brother. He should be in a museum. Put him in plastic.
Yeah, I know. But we like the spinning back fist, and that's okay. That's our go-to. But yeah, so when I was little, I was kind of steeped and surrounded in this sort of stuff. And also, my dad and my mum were very, very religious. They were going through, like, we were having Bible study at our house all the time, prayer groups. We were always in church, all that sort of stuff, like really like full on, all of our extra time was given to the church. And so, yeah, I was like, all right, well, there was stuff happening. I knew there was stuff happening, right? I could always connect to things. I saw things, I could see shadows. I had an incredible peripheral vision, which I still do, right? I can almost see behind me to that point, right?
Wow.
And I think it's just because I've always done martial arts. I can literally, like, eyes in the back of my head. Yeah, actually, I kind of do. And so, yeah, when I was, 5 or 6, in my backyard, I would just wait for a really big gust of wind. And then if I didn't have a gust of wind, I would just jump really high and I could levitate. I couldn't ever fly. I could never get myself to a point of shifting forward or backwards, but I could jump into the air and stay there. Yeah.
Yo, okay.
That's pretty wild. And do you know what the weird, wait, there's another weird part to this, right? Okay, so backyard, not a problem, About 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, Juliet and I kind of started Cryptid Women's Society, and we were talking about these stories, and I was like, far out, man, I feel like I'm pretty sure I could levitate when I was younger. It wasn't a dream, that actually happened, and the more I kind of remembered it, the more I was like, oh no, it totally happened. I rang my dad, and I was like, Dad, I used to be able to do this when I was younger. And he goes, it's funny you say that. And I was like, what? And he goes, well, when I was a little kid, I remember if I could go to sleep really fast, then I could try and fly out of my body and through the ceiling. And if I could fly fast enough up through the ceiling, I would get out. And then I could go wherever I wanted. And I said to him, Dad, you were astro projecting. And he goes, oh, I don't know what. Okay, sure. He'd never heard of it.
There's a name for it now, Dad. Dad, there's a name for it
Dad.
now.
Dad, you're awesome. It turns out.
Wow.
So yeah, so crazy. This has literally just happened in the last couple of years that we've both figured out that that's actually something that was available to us.
Okay, let's dive deep here. Okay, I am a livid lucid dreamer. Livid.
Yeah, I think too.
So it's, I know what it is. It's like muscle memory. I know what it is, what your dad was, the way he said it. Yeah. You have a routine to it. And as soon as you could tap into it, it's like you wake up in it. It's like muscle memory. Think of it like this, guys. Think of it, if for the people that have a job and wake up and they hate their job or whatnot, the moment you wake up because of your alarm, and you have that routine, you get off the bed, you put your sandals on, like that. It's like that. It's just muscle memory. Sometimes you're doing it while you're still like 50% asleep, and your body's just doing it just like that. It's muscle memory. The fact that you told me that you can levitate puts me I want to ask you now, telepathy? Have you ever had any type of telepathy with someone else? Not talking about twin flame here. I'm talking about maybe an accident or tried intentionally tap into someone else's energetic mental field.
Probably, actually. I've never really thought about it before. You're making my brain think overtime. Um, I used to have deja vus a lot, like just, or like to the point where I could tell you exactly what was going to happen, and the deja vu would last for 5 minutes. I could tell you for 5 minutes what's going on, what the teacher wrote on the board, all that sort of stuff. But as I started doing martial arts more, I did personal protection and bodyguarding for celebrities and all sorts of stuff like that, right? I went quite far in the career. I could see things, premonitions, if you will. I could see things that were going to happen in the future, and like just a few seconds enough to make adjustments that I needed to make. I always felt like there was something setting it up for me, like something would set up, and then I'd walk that path, and then that path would be there, but I'd already know what the path was, and then I'd just walk that path. I always had this really crazy confidence in my own ability, to the point where I would put myself in somewhat dodgy situations just to test it. And it was always fine, which is bad. Don't ever do that. Like, don't ever put yourself in a dangerous situation to test a theory out. But I had this crazy kind of premonition thing, like I was being looked after. And I always put it up to it was the Lord or my angels or whatever looking after me, because that was how I was raised. That was my belief system. But when I think about it, kind of when I step out of that sort of space, then it probably was some form of telepathy or telepathic kind of understanding, where I was tuning into that timeline, that whatever that was. And the other thing is when I used to fight in karate, we would do point sparring. So I went quite high up in karate as well. I went to world championship level. And so we would do point sparring against other people that were very, very fast and very good. But when I would fight them, everything would slow right down, and I would see it through like a video camera, like a 60 mil camera, and everything would slow right down. And then I would be able to do whatever I was doing, and whatever they did back to me, it was simple, because it was just, like, you see those there was a movie like Sherlock Holmes or whatever, and it was like, and slow, and then fast. And so
I think you would have been a badass detective. Imagine where you would have gone. You only see this in movies, bro. Like, you show up, right? And you're the detective. And detective, what do you see? And then you just sit there, and then you play out and you visualize what happened in that area. You would have been a sharpened weapon, military grade. I'm talking about, oh my goodness, bro. We have this thing. So, it was an operation. The U.S. military was running, inducing people with your type of gifts and talents during World War II to see where the Hitler's bunker, and because he surrounded himself also with mediums. He surrounded himself with witchcraft and people with dark entities attached. And so we started weaponizing spirituality almost. It is nuts, man. So I believe 1,000% in those gifts. Have you weaponized them yourself?
Nah, I really want to learn to how to move things. What do you call that?
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis, yeah. Because I can move like the piece of paper around in circles, when you put it on a pin and you put the piece of paper on it and it spins in circles by using your brain or, your mind or whatever. So I kind of want to start doing that a little bit more, because I used to be able to move stuff, and I'm like, I want to be an airbender. That'd be so much fun, So, these platforms, not platforms, these movies they're sold to us as entertainment, but they're telling you a story. They're telling you something that we can tap into mentally, emotionally, physically. What's it called? Frequent vibly. You know what I meant. Yeah.
Aside from,
all you have to do is look at the Vedic manuscripts, right? They're very, very clear on what the human body, spirit, soul can do. You can shrink yourself, you can extend yourself, you can walk through walls, you can levitate, all of these things by simply meditating, understanding, connecting.
Connecting. You know, that's a key word, because anything that you talk about, anything that you've been conditioned to, and I'm just talking about here in California. I'm not talking about anybody in Tennessee, in Mississippi, in New Zealand, in UK. I'm talking about just my intermediate people that I'm surrounding myself with by accident or by default. I'm going to tell you something right now. Everybody's conditioned to think that everything is at still, that this computer's still, that the table is solid, that things are not vibrating, that things are not connected, that they're not an extension of your body, but they are. Everything around you is connected to a certain frequency, and you yourself are a vibrating vessel. Problem is, you forgot how to utilize it. You forgot how to tap into it because you like being entertained and you like being controlled, and you have Stockholm syndrome. Not you necessarily, but many of the people that consume this stuff. Now, let's pivot to a different type of combo. You, levitator, karate chopper, artist, speaker, women leader, talk to me. Have you experienced any cryptids?
Yes, we have. In fact, we have. Do you want my cryptid story? Well, it's mine and Juliet's. I can't just steal it by myself.
Oh, no. Hit me. Juliet, mad shout outs to you, Juliet. I hope you were here. We would have had more laughs. Talk to me.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. There'd be some bad words coming out of our mouths also. So I'm trying to be controlled.
You're actually doing pretty good, by the way. Go ahead, let loose. The first three numbers already, the first 3 minutes already passed. I let loose already. I'm not tripping.
Sweet. And I'm in. No, man, we had our very first cryptid encounter. And in fact, we've only had 2, or I've only had 2. Juliet sees the paranormal far more than what I do. She sees apparitions walking around left, right, and center and floating heads, and she can tell you some pretty crazy, wild stories. I've seen UFOs my whole life, and now we've encountered what we think is a Bigfoot up in the Taurua Ranges. We went up there a couple of years ago, probably 3 years ago now, or just on 2.5. When she came over here, we went and did a couple of investigations in some old mansions, that sort of stuff. And we were like, okay, what else are we going to do on this trip? She's only here for a weekend and then she's got to go home. And so we touched base with one of our colleagues, one of our friends who had a dogman encounter down the road as well, which was wild. I didn't think there was dogman in New Zealand, but she was like, yeah, I encountered him like 6 years ago. And she said, and she's very connected to everything woo-woo. And she said to me, Juliet's coming over and I'm getting messages telling me that they're waiting for you. And I just went, who? Who is waiting for us? And she said, the clan is waiting for you. She said, I don't know, I've never spoken to a Bigfoot before, but they're talking to me and they're telling me that they're waiting for you and Juliet, and they'll be in Dalefield Road. And Dalefield Road is one of the old roads that runs right up to the ranges, right up to the hills. And so we went, all right, thanks. Just like kind of walked away and was like, what do we do with that? And so on our way home, we thought, all right, let's go for a drive. And as Juliet puts it, I basically turned around and said, oh, we're going there right now because that's where we're meant to be going. And so I took a left and dragged her ass out there. And we ended up dressed in very much town clothes, nice jeans and a top. And we'd just been to Weta Workshop, hanging out with Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Oh, so I love Lord of the Rings.
Thank you. Yes. Not equipped to go into the bush whatsoever, but we were being called. So I was like, off we go. And so parked the car up. We ended up in a logging area. So it was like a Saturday or a Sunday. There was no one out there other than a couple of kids dirt biking and that sort of stuff. And so we're like, oh, sweet as, a couple of cars there. So we decided we'll go for a walk, see where it takes us, right? Just open ourselves up to it. Obviously they're speaking telepathically to Penny, so maybe we'll just open ourselves up and we'll get some comments as well. Anyway, we started walking down this trail up into the bush, right? And in New Zealand, there's no apex predators. We don't have bears. We don't have big cats. We don't have wolves, coyotes. We don't have any of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, nothing. So you can go walking in the bush with bare feet, right? And we do that quite often, right? Bare feet on the ground, not a problem.
Which is very important for grounding.
Incredibly for grounding, right? And that's probably the other reason why we feel so good here. And we're so chilled out. Everyone's just like, it'll be fine. We get taken advantage of a lot. That's why. Because New Zealand's just chilled, right? But yeah, so the only thing we have in New Zealand bush is a boar, like a wild pig. We have stags and deer. And we have goats, right? Mountain goats. That's pretty much it. The only other danger is a human, basically. And so we're walking on down this track, and both of us at the same time turned around to each other and was like, oh my God, we need to go across the river. We need to cross that river. And as we looked across the river, we looked at this enormous side of the hill covered in pine trees, right? They would have been grown for 15, 20 odd years. So really tall pine trees. We were just like, we need to go over there. We tried 3 times to get across the river. Every time we simply could not find somewhere to cross. We could not get across the river. And so by the end of it, we got right down to the end where it was kind of like a big pool and stuff. And we were just like, fine, we can't get across. If you want to come and see us, get your butt over here, right? We're going to climb up this hill with no track on it. We'll just make our own little trail. We'll climb up this hill. And if you want to come and see us, come on over. So we're talking to like no man's land into the ether, right?
Talking into the ether, yeah.
Yeah, start trekking up this hill. There's no track up there, no trail or anything. And it's like freaking steep as. Anyway, so we start finding really odd things up this hill, right? So the first thing that we found was like a pile of bones. Okay, there's no apex predators in New Zealand. It was a neatly placed pile of bones. There was a jawbone, rib bones, all sorts of things. We're picking them up going, this is really weird. On the side of a hill, about halfway up, a little wee beautiful pile of bones. So we're like, okay, number 1, weird. Walkie, like dragging our asses up.
Just for context, guys, it's the side of a steep hill. Even if there were any apex predators, they wouldn't leave the bones stacked up on the side of a steep hill neatly. They would probably chew it up and digest it. And I don't know, for the people that have seen a carcass, carcasses get devoured very, very fast, and the bones get spread around very, very quick. It's not like it's, no, that was designed.
Really odd, really odd. Yeah. Anyway, so as we're walking up and through, we started seeing these really odd glyphs, right? And the glyphs that we found were literally pieces of tree branch that were broken on both ends. So it was just a nice big straight piece of tree branch placed in an X and placed in an equal sign next to each other on the steep cliff, right?
Look
in front of us so we could see it. And that kind of like, it was odd. That was the second thing. We were like, this is weird, man. There's no one around here. There's no track. There's no trail. And the other thing is, Juliet and I have grown up in the bush in New Zealand. She ran a bull farm when she was, like all the way through her childhood. I grew up in dock reservation land. So thousands of acres with kaimanawa horses running around. Those are our wild New Zealand horses. Had the Tongariro River running down our backyard. We know what happens in the bush. We know what's really weird. When you see it all the time and then you can spot the things that are just not meant to be there.
It doesn't fit.
It does not fit. Yeah. And this is what was happening. And it was even worse because it was in the middle of nowhere land on a giant slope, right? And so we're starting to see these really odd things happen. So we get to the top of the ridge and we kind of just stop. And we're like, we're at the top of the ridge. What are we going to do now? And as we stopped, and I've actually got film footage. I filmed the whole thing. As we stopped, we started hearing what sounded like footsteps in dry brush. footsteps, not shuffling, actual footsteps. And something relatively large, like big-footed something, and something relatively heavy, and it was just over the ridgeline, and we couldn't see it. And so at the same time, Juliet and I both like got this really kind of quite you're not meant to be here sort of feeling. We both went, okay, we're going to go now. We hear you, and we're going to head out. All right. After all of that kind of climbing up there and hearing these footsteps in the brush, we just went, all right, please be a boar. We know it's not a boar. Oh God. You know when things are not right. So
your instinct started kicking in.
100%. Yeah. There was something that was not meant to be there. Right. So we booted it on down the hill on our asses, basically just slid our way down the hill, took all the photographic evidence and left. And we ended up kind of walking our way pretty fast back to the car. Once we got back to the car, there was no one else there. All the cars had gone, right? It was like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Dusk was just kind of falling, and we were starting to lose light. But at the same time, we thought we'd be right eggs, because we're Kiwis and we're a bit silly. And we thought we'd do some Bigfoot calls because, we're on a Bigfoot hunt.
Of course. You cannot go to, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what the spice.
We just six, right? So she did one, and it was absolute crap ass. All right. It was terrible. There was no commitment or dedication into it whatsoever. Anyway, so I was not impressed by her. I did one, and I thought it was pretty all right. And as we got back to the car, we opened the door of the car, and something replied.
Whoa.
All of a sudden, coming from those pine trees that we were meant to cross the river, and we weren't able to get over the river, all of a sudden, we had this thundering, low growl, yowl, howl come from those pine trees, and the energy that hit me with that was massive, man. And it just went whoosh straight past me. But you know what the craziest part that I experienced afterwards? It went like this, and it sucked straight back into those pine trees.
Shut the front door.
Fucking wild. Juliet heard it as well, and she just stood there and looked at me and went, holy crap. Mental. It was just so crazy town. When you climb up to the top of a bridge, right? And you drop a massive rock off into the water, and you drop it, and it goes, and it sucks the water back down.
Exactly.
And the sound back down. That's what it was like. It was like being sucked back into a void. Oh,
the term for it, Drewski from Cryptid Warfare Operations, and you, my friend, are getting networked through me to him tonight. I'm gonna send you his stuff. Dude is amazing. He's a law upholder, and he hunts for the cryptids that violently attack your farm animals, chickens, and sometimes your own body. Sure. He does operations out there, and he called it audio. It's like a sonic boom, and he got hit with one from a closer range.
Infrasound, hey? Infrasound.
And when it hits you, he said he was rocked. He lost consciousness for a brief moment. Sight, all of his senses were interfered. So amazing, dude. I kind of wish you guys tried it again. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something again. The question is, that area known for any violent attacks?
No.
No. Okay.
No. And I don't think we didn't get that really scared, like, oh my God, I'm petrified feeling. But we are tough ass. So maybe that, our
100%.
level of danger is off the chart. But we definitely got a feeling of, I'm over here and you probably shouldn't be here, or I'm over here and be aware. It was that real kind of primal, when you see a dog and the dog goes, who are you? I'm not sure if I like you or trust you. It's that, oh shit, what's going to happen? Ooh,
Exactly.
are we conflicting? That's kind of what it felt like, that real uncertainty when we're up that hill. But the other thing I didn't tell you was when we got back down the hill on our butts, like kind of, scampering down the hill, we both kind of stopped and we saw this really weird, dark, circular portal.
I was about to ask.
Sitting
knew
on the
it.
side of the river with like ferns and like leaves and stuff hanging all over it. But the way Juliet put it, and we both was like, this is real ominous. There's something wrong with that. That's bad juju. The way she put it, she goes, it was so dark on the inside. It was blacker than black. And she referred to it, or like connected it with an experience that she had at one of the older cemeteries we went to in Australia, Toowoomba Cemetery in Brisbane. And she had an experience there with what she thinks is a demon. And she said it was so black. It was blacker than what the night was black. And I mean, that thing was wild, and it came up with horns and all sorts of craziness. And you got to talk to her about that. But this portal was just like dark and black, and we knew it was bad. And we were just like, no, we don't need to go past. We don't need to go into that.
Have you ever, and we're almost towards the end of the show already, but have you ever explored the idea of trees being portals?
Yes. So glad you said that. Yes.
Okay.
There's been a couple of encounters of Bigfoot disappearing into trees. Have you heard
Well,
those?
every single thing that you think about, for example, in LA, you can't find trees that give off fruits unless you go out to like opened area or controlled areas or reserves or forests. Or the high desert, so you can't find like apple trees. You can't find anything. Or you have to go to the store to buy an apple, and then the apples are seedless. So it's like they control everything again. Very dark. However, I have a theory. I'm like, wait. This has to be beyond the idea that they want us to purchase our food filled with hormones and stuff. This has to be because they don't want us tapping into any of these freaking portals, bro. Because every single time that these creatures, multi-dimensional light bending creatures come out, it's because they are transferring and becoming material through those portals, through those trees, bro, by tapping into the freaking energetic memory, going back full circle with what you said.
That's New Zealand.
I freaking love New Zealand, bro. I
You gotta
gotta
come over,
go.
man. It's so much fun. You'll love
I
it.
do.
You'll love it. It's wild. Yeah, it's really, really crazy.
I would love to check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to make sure that you guys take the sweet, sweet time to check out Cryptid Women's Society's podcast, engage, leave a comment, ask questions, and if you have any other topics or stories, share it with them. Again, one more time, Lise, let them know where they can find you.
Thank you so much. That was just wonderful. You can find us Walking in the Shadows at Cryptid Women's Society on YouTube. That is our podcast. You can pop over to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Cryptid Women's Society, or you can go into cryptidwomensociety.com. That's our website, and find all the good stuff over there. DM us, send us an email. We love to talk to people, boys and girls, aliens, all of the above, dogmen.
Oh, lizard people, insectoid. You guys are all welcome.
I'm open to everything.
I need to ask you a question on the way out of the show, and this is going to be something. It's one question combined into, three questions combined into one. So you don't have to answer it, but just try to like have it at the top of the, don't think about it too much.
Okay.
I'm gonna start doing this often on the show now. What is your favorite emotion? How has it changed your life? And have you weaponized it?
Oh, shit. Oh shit.
Ooh.
My, my favorite emotion is like that pure happiness, like that where you really know everything is just bang on and stuff starts happening and falling into place and it's easy, right? I don't know what that's called, but that perfect alignment. It's changed my life because I have been given the privilege of being a part of this community and creating Encrypted Women's Society and meeting so many amazing American friends. The majority are American, and and just being able to kind of delve deeper into kind of what this whole world is about and reconnect to things. And have I weaponized it? Shit, no. Other than I want a full-time job, which means I need more money. So that's the only thing. I just need enough money to step over full-time, and then we're away laughing. And we're getting there. We're growing.
And you're going to be able to tap into that emotion again. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
that is Lisa. Make sure you check out, man. Shout outs to Juliet. Yo, and by the way, I totally forgot because I always forget. And you guys, this is how I know I'm not perfect. And guys, this is not scripted. So I'm going to do it off right now. Where's it at? Oh, the next, this episode goes out to my listener of the week is what a rush _rush_ first name Brush on Instagram. Thank you so much for engaging, for the follow, for the like, and for dropping comments. My love and respect. This episode goes out to you. Do not stop sharing. Do not stop being positive and being part of the frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, this means the world to me. Thank you so much, Lisa, for spending some time, your wisdom and your happiness, and sharing that energy with the world and sharing that energy with me. Mad love and respect. Always drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Ladies and gentlemen, that allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace.